everyone, it's Julia. I'm working on 3 different plaid shirts for just upcycling. I did pick these up at the thrift store. I'm not going to share with the step-by-step with you, but I am going to share my thought process and kind of my ideas, and then show you the end result and anything that I've changed or any problems that I've encountered or anything like that. I'll share, and then also share some pictures at the end. I'm going to work on this one first. It's not a flannel. I think the other 2 are flannels, but this is just a beautiful a plaid shirting. This is a size large, and my idea is I'm gonna add an applique on the back, and I'm gonna do this watering can. I'm going to be using a navy blue fabric for it. I'll probably stitch it in white just so it pops a little bit. But I also recently got this beautiful piece. It's just a fat quarter of this floral. There's red in this plaid too, so I think it's really just gonna pop. It also has a selvage here that says flower fields. I love using the selvage if it has like words on it or something in the design. So I'm going to incorporate that somewhere. I'll link this down below for you, this fabric. Like I mentioned, I did pick it up quite recently. It might still be available. It's really pretty. So I'm going to get started on this one. I will be doing a paperback adhesive. I'll be drawing this out, ironing it on, and ironing it onto the back. And then free motion, stitching everything on, thread doodling, just adding a lot of texture with some thread. And I'll show you what it looks like. I decided to cut the sleeve off of this one. And when I do that, I leave it like about a ½ inch or so. I'm going to fold that under and stitch with navy blue thread right on the previous stitching line. I also found this eyelet lace trim. I'm going to add it to the watering can, but also put it down the front on one side of the placket. Just kind of push it underneath that placket and stitch that down. I finished off the sleeves and also put the lace down the center front. The watering can is stitched on, and I added a little piece of that same eyelet lace to that. Now I'm going to create the flower arrangement. I just cut this out of the piece of fabric, and it does have the I use heat and bond light for the back of it. Just going to take that away. I'm going to iron this on quick, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to have just cream colored thread on the top, the same as the watering can, and I'm just going to do some edge stitching on it, and then do some doodling inside the petals and the leaves. I do have my free motion foot on. This is the darning foot. I have all-purpose thread on the top and bobbin thread in my bobbin. My feed dogs are dropped, so I'm going to be doing all the movement on this. And I'm going to try to get some of most of the edges, but then also fill in some of the little details. You can also do little doodles. And this is what the back looks like. Got all the little flowers stitched on. And then for the front, I added a few more little flowers right in between the buttonholes, and also that selvage edge that says flower fields. I just thought that was really sweet, and that just went right above the pocket. I'll take some pictures at the end, everybody, and I'm on to the next one. I'm on to my second shirt, and this is a plaid flannel. And some of the ideas that are some of the things I'm working with here, I found this tea towel. It's really sweet. It has these little lovebirds on it. And I thought I would cut part of that, the top part of it off. I wish there was two sets of those birds, but there isn't. There's just the one. And I'm going to stick it on the back, I think right up by the yoke, and just have it just hanging loose. This shirt is a little short, so I'm thinking maybe this is from an old pillowcase. I might add some of this lace right atop on the top of this, and then also just on the back. It's curved, quite curved, but I might just add some of that lace on the back as well. We'll see about that. I'm not quite sure. And then on the front, oh, another thing too, I have this fabric, and I thought it matched really well with the pink and the blue. And what I thought I would do is when this is on the top here, I might just cut out a couple of these flowers and the leaves and just do a little collage on the upper left hand side. And then on the front, I'm going to add more of those flowers as a collage on this side. And then there was a really sweet little, see if I can find it here. Yeah, this was on the selvage of that piece. This is a Moda fabric by Robin and Pickens. It's AbbyRose. But this little saying here says, her garden was full of happiness, color, sweetness, and love. And I just really thought that was just really sweet. So I might try to add that saying in with this collage. The sleeves, the last one shirt I did, I made the sleeves, I cut them completely off. It was a sleeveless shirt. This one I'm going to leave probably 3/4, roll them up and do a tie. And I think that's the only really deconstruction I'm going to do on it. The rest of it is just going to be those other elements that I have found. And I'm ready to get started. I will be starting with the sleeves. I'll be sharing some updates in between. I've cut the sleeves off and I'm going to be hemming, just turned them up. I'm going to be hemming them, but I'm going to add this tab. I'm just going to stitch around that and poke a hole in that. And that's what's going to tie this up. It's not going to be tied up a lot, but I just thought to add a neat detail at the bottom of the sleeve. And this little piece is from when I cut off the sleeve. This is the end of that placket. It's just a little triangle shape that I'm going to cut out, and this one will get added to the other sleeve. I'm just cutting beyond the stitch line. And when I stitch this on, I'm going to be stitching right on the stitch line. It's several layers, but I think it's just going to add, like I said, just a fun little detail to the bottom of the sleeve. I've got my little tab sewn on, and I put a little dot there where I want my hole. And I'm just going to use my Big Shot to poke that hole. Removing any fabric that doesn't punch out all the way. And then I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to go around and around that hole with free motion stitching. And I've already completed this one so you can see what it looks like. It's pretty organic, but it's just a lot easier than putting an eyelet in there, but you of course could do that. And then I made fabric tubes out of my floral fabric. Now to turn these tubes, I do use fast turns. I will show you what they look like here. They're just these cylinders that you put up into the tube and then insert this wire that has like a coil on the top, and then you can just pull it through. I purchased my fast turns many years ago at like a sewing expo, but they are still available. And then I'm just going to punch this through this hole and then tie this up. I added the cuff to the bottom of my fabric collage with a saying and a little bit of that lace. I really liked how the lace has just a centerpiece, and it just centers it really nice. And then on the back, I added it, and it's just centered over the top of those little birds. I thought that was really cute. Added another little bud up here. I did decide not to add any of the lace around the bottom. I just thought it was enough added to it. And I like the little lace details on both the front and the back. I'm on to my final shirt, and this is a plaid flannel. I'm going to leave the sleeves long on this one. I'm just going to roll them back. I have an idea for this one. Actually, my daughter gave me the idea. She's traveling and saw this farmer's market, and it was called Farmer's Daughter, and I'm a farmer's daughter. And I thought that would be fun as a collage on the back. I just printed out the word farmer, and I'm going farmers, and that's going to be an applique. And then for the daughter, this is also going to be an applique, but I'm going to be using my Big Shot. This is a font. It's called the Block Talk alphabet, and they're just basically blocks. Daughter is such a long word, but I'm going to just run all those out. So it's going to say farmer's daughter. I'm going to use this. This is the piece of that tea towel from my last one. And I'm going to be using this to build my design. And this is going to, again, be on the back side. And some of the little pieces of fabric that I'm going to use, just scraps that I had from other pieces. But this one has like the fresh milk and the local farm fresh. It's just really cute. And I grew up on a dairy farm, so that milk thing is kind of neat. And then also my mom raised chickens, and I've got this print of different chickens on it. And I thought I'd add a couple chickens just in this applique on the back side. Maybe still have a little bit of that lace left over from my last project. I might add that somewhere. And then on the front, I'm going to leave it really simple, but I think I am going to put maybe just one chicken or rooster down below. And so I'll show you at the end what I came up with. I'm excited for this one. Before running my letters through this die cut on this Big Shot, I did put a Heat and Bond light or a paperback adhesive on the back side of the fabric. And I'm using like a grungy looking black for it. And I'm just going to run this through. So I'm doing the word daughter, and there's 8 letters, and everyone's a different, no repeat. So I have 8 little pieces of this laid out on here, and just running this through. And then I can just pop each one of these out of, and I have my letter. This is the letter R. This is the fabric that I found for the word farmers. And I've already printed or just drew out on a piece of paperback adhesive, and I reversed that. So I actually traced it from the back side. I'll show you here. I've got the word farmers, and I just reversed it, traced it, just so that it's going the right direction when I cut it out. I'll share some pictures at the end here, but this is how my collage looks. I added a little bit of that strawberry fabric that I created the word farmers with down below, just to give it some balance. Added that lace on the top, And then on the front side, I kept it like pretty simple with just another collage with the strawberry fabric. I also cut the word farm out of one of the prints, added the last little bit of that lace and one of the chickens. I mentioned, I have to tell you a story. I mentioned before that my mom raised chickens and she supplied our little local grocery store with eggs, and then she got some money off of her groceries. But I was just thinking about that and how I took those eggs for granted. And I just wish I had a couple dozen of them back. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy stitching. Bye for now.